Hey, this is Brett. I'm gonna talk a little bit about a songwriter that I've been paying attention to for a couple of years. I don't know how long he's been around. It may only be a few years, but he's a younger man. I'd say he's probably around 30, and his name is Jesse Wells, Welles. And the first song I heard was a song of his that's very funny called Walmart.
I saw a toddler eat a cigarette on a cart of Keystone beer. I was eyeing art supply. Some dude named Tanner called me queer. I do not want to go to Walmart today. I saw a woman stranded humming to the tune of Delta Dawn on a dead battery scooter with just pajamas on. I do not want to go to Walmart today. To Walmart today, or tomorrow, or the day after that. Don't go misunderstand me for something.
Now, as people that live out in rural America do, sometimes Walmart is where you got to go to get your basics. It's just the alternatives got destroyed when county commissioners in their infinite wisdom said, you know what, screw all them families we've known for so many years with their small businesses. What our little county needs is 3 super Walmarts. That's what Rockingham County, North Carolina did. And somehow the people that made those decisions never were put in jail or ostracized or kicked out of the churches that they used to pretend to worship in. I just don't get it. And I'm sure that Jesse Wells don't get it either. What I like about him is he looks at the world with very few scales on his eyes. He sees what is right in front of him, including things that are hidden in plain sight, and he's not afraid to talk about them. He doesn't insult the intelligence of the listener by feeling a great need to explain every metaphor. For example, when he says, "Old Sammy's dying wish" in Walmart, Jesse knows that you and I know who Sammy was. And maybe some of the backstory about Walmart and how it came to be and for what reason. But what I like about Jesse Wells' tunes, in addition to the fact that he's got this great voice, and it's great because he believes if he's all in with his songs, he's going to reach the notes he's aiming for with his voice. And he does. He's got a cool voice. It's kind of raspy. Smoker's voice. I don't know if he smokes. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. There's absolutely nothing in the Bible about tobacco. And he's a heck of a guitar player. He can finger pick. He can strum. He knows the difference between a light gauge plectrum and a heavy gauge plectrum based upon how busy and how loud he wants his strumming and his flat picking to be. He can flat pick. He can finger pick. I'm not sure I've seen him put a slide on his hand, but it wouldn't surprise me in the least. He does have a slide player in his small band, which I want to mention delightfully remind me of, songs from Big Pink era record.
Justice is the sword. He was a melting off the faces of the damned. You have heard of Noah's flood, that tale will pale against the blood, pouring out and boiling in uranium sand. Don't you know atomic power just God's celestial shower? There are those that he has chosen and those that he has not. There are many who will die in the Lord's plan by and by, but it won't be you or I.
Great bass player too. Great bass player. I was watching him play, and it's cool how when the song's got its hooks happening, he's down at, he's way down on the neck and the low and the bottom, but during the sung parts, very often I'll find him way further up the neck, kind of almost in a baritone guitar kind of place. That's closer to the acoustic guitar that Jesse's playing. So musically, they interest me. He doesn't write complicated songs with weird chord changes. I mean, most of the songs I hear Jesse Wells play, and this is not a knock, okay? I used to play progressive rock and things that I suppose are jazz, and I'm so tired of people that play too much. Sometimes I'll just stay away from situations that are eternally horrible and vain, even if they're live jams where I get to play some, because it's just painful over time to work in groups of people who simply cannot learn how to play less often, or at times not at all, during portions of songs where the lyric is the thing, right? I observed the slide player in Jesse's band really dialing it back, hitting a note and letting it ring and not hitting the note too hard, hitting a chord, a double stop or some kind of triad, gently letting it ring underneath the vocal, rather than trying to be the drummer with every instrument in the band and play 30-second notes all the time. It's madness. It's stupid, and it gives me a headache. But Jesse's band doesn't. So those are all the things I want to say before I introduce people to this guy's music. If you already know who he is, I'm preaching to the choir. Go somewhere else. I'm redundant. But if you haven't heard any of Jesse Wells' music, I've picked a few different ones. One with some finger style, some plectrum playing, different modes of songwriting in terms of thematic content. And Jesse is extremely topical, okay? Something happens in the news, boom, he's got a song out that week. People that listen to Jesse Wells probably know the story of Neil Young writing the song Ohio after the Kent State murders, you know? Such echoes of Kent State happening all over America today with this madman in the White House and his cabinet full of addicts and hookers. I mean, it's absolutely insane, okay? The grand parade of lifeless packaging is what Peter Gabriel might call the American government this year. And Jesse writes about stuff, just like Neil Young did. He saw those kids get mowed down. He wrote down what was right all full in his heart. He let his real, pure, righteous feelings rise up into his hand and out of a pen into a lyric. And then, like beating on a log with a limb, he pounded out a simple, chunky vehicle for that anger and upset at evil afoot in his society, and got in touch with the band and said, we got to get in the studio, record this, and get it out ASAP. People need to know, because there's going to be a cover-up, as there has always been, down through the ages. Rewrite history. To the victor goes the spoils. The winners write the textbooks for the future. Yeah, Jesse Wells is writing a truth side text, okay? He's fact-checking the clowns. I like that. It's very courageous. And I find in his music that he is continuously championing human attributes that if you were someone that thought that the Bible was a good book, you'd notice were the fruit of the Holy Spirit. How about that? Jesse Wells and a lot of songwriters that I like, a lot of people that I like, they exhibit kindness, forgiveness, long-suffering, generosity, and the real important one, self-control.
I'm gonna tell y'all a tale that's been told to me a time or two. A thing you ought to do if you wanna be of good repute. You better go to a college, take out a loan, move on back in with your folks, 'cause you'll never own a home, and work a couple of gigs that you don't need a degree to do. Deliver some food and live with the guilt that the misery you built on you. A long time ago in a town far away, people told me if I want to see a brighter day, then you better hit the books, boy. You better earn a degree. I never knew the whole country get the same damn trophy as me. Oh, they're glad to take your money, glad to take your time, glad to put you all in debt before you ever earn a dime. You might make a connection if you can weather the haze. They shove you through like cattle, hand diplomas out like hay. There's a mutually agreed upon mediocrity between the teachers and the students and administrative faculty. You pretend to try, they'll pretend you earn the grade. But if everybody's here, how the hell are we all great? College is a racket, no matter how you stack it. Little tax bandits with a 4-year plan. It's a lucrative endeavor, sold with a moral component. The road to hell is paved with good intentions and good diplomas. Now when it's time to toss the hat, well, the trouble's just beginning, 'cause you know there ain't a job and the loan won't be forgiven. What little you know now, you probably ought to forget. Well, you should have been a plumber, now you're dumber and deeper in debt. Can you really call it living without 40 grand around your neck? Now if you wanna be a doctor, if you wanna build a bridge, better get the sheet of paper, better slap it on your fridge. But if you need to make a living, brother, don't make it hard. Skip the Adderall prescription, get a YouTube subscription, a laptop and a library card.
Right? And I find that music in my life, I'm 66, and I've been writing original music since the mid-70s. The best songs are the ones that take a long time to finish, or the ones that come out just as easily as your daily constitutional after 2 sips of coffee in the morning. Right? We either channel the whole song, boom, or we channel the theme, click, and write down as much of that as we can get, and then allow the muses to chew on it for a while. And these small, still voices about that song say, here's some more things that can go onto that theme. And before you know it, you've got a song. I like how Jesse does guitar fills. They don't last too long. He doesn't play solos. He's very subtle. He's very musical about everything. His guitar riffage and fills just simply take you out of where he was and deliver you to the next lyric, and usually pretty quickly, right? There's a very nice economy to his songs. I also dig the DIY ethos, you know, where he just sets up a video camera in a field somewhere, you know, where the power lines go through with trees on both sides of them, this long corridor of foliage that goes through the seasons, right? Sometimes it's bush hogs, sometimes it ain't, but there's Jesse out in the country with no human beings in sight. Just him, this thing he's been thinking about, and he's going to sing to you about it. I think that's a wonderful way to deliver music. Okay?
I was born up on the hill, though I'm being born still. I was carried down into the river valley. On the big bend of the Arkansas, I was raised up right or I was raised up wrong. It depends on who you ask about me. People talk, but they don't know. When you tell them that's where you call it home, they say, oh, yeah, buddy, I've seen that show before. They don't know what it's like to feel like the world is wrong, but the nature's real, rolling down Altus Hill. Ozark into the rainbow, Ozark paradise is twice as nice as any other place. Ozark, Misty Mountain, Ozark. There's a story inside the lines of your face. I put a few there. You do what you can, but your hands always give it away. You really do care. I hope you know my love. Hope you know my love. Just don't go giving up.
I mean, I'm sure he could go play somewhere and set the camera up in such a way that behind him you can see scores of smiling people, kind of like at political rallies when you've got some kind of senseless, malignant narcissist that needs to actually have human beings behind him or her. You know, strength in numbers mentality. I like Jesse's aloneness. I like his comfort level with solitude.
I got me a red house and a red car, runs on big red batteries. They used to be blue 15 minutes ago, but they turned red just for me. I got me a red horse and I ride it. I got some blue friends, they're the best. We used to fly around the world on a big jet plane they call the Lolita Express. I got me a red tie and it's 10 feet long and it matches my red hat. I got me a red bird and a red fish, a red dog and a red cat. And I got me a red pen and I use it. I got a big red chainsaw too. My red friend likes that white powder, makes his arms do weird salutes. When the war gets here, we're all gonna hold hands. All the Baptists and the Catholics, all the Marxists and the fascists. When the war gets here, we're gonna get on the level. Everyone looks a little bit nicer when you finally meet the devil. I had me a red talk on a red day. day looking for a thank you dressed in.
I like how he knows how to, perhaps involuntarily, maybe it's just part of his nature, get away from people's bad vibes, right? Everything is electromagnetic energy, and every concentric circle keeps bouncing off the shore and coming back. Perhaps for eternity. We got to be careful about what rocks we fling and where we fling them.
Should you ever want to die? And after all of the years, you can't put back tears. They just train you as you say goodbye. But never once should you ever want to die. Fashion a whip for your own back, and we watch you tear yourself apart. How long's it been since someone said how beautiful you are? And that awful guilt, it's not your cross, it's just something you were told.
But Jesse Wells strikes me as the kind of a modern American songwriter that Jesus will know someday when they say, he's here, go meet him. I got a pretty strong feeling that Jesse's guitar will already be around his neck. There'll be a wick hanging out the sound hole, and that guitar is full of the oil that we hear in his lyrics. And he's going to make it through that door. He's probably going to see Woody Guthrie on the other side of that door, come to think of it.
Will all promises be kept? Will we all be better off? I get the notion we won't know until the ketamine wears off. I looked up into my left and saw a canopy of greed. I do not need to be unburdened, I just need someone to lead. And if it looks a bit familiar, like it did the other time, they say that history don't repeat itself, no, history just rhymes. The river's deep, the river's wide, and there ain't no way across it except to swim or sink and die. The way is long, the path is mean. I ain't got none of my friends left, they all vanished in the stream. I ain't got none of my friends left, they all vanished in the stream.
Anyways, if you haven't heard this man's music, just go to his YouTube channel and get notifications. Okay? Get notifications. Go ahead and subscribe to it. I'm telling you, if I was 30 years old and I could make a little bit of mailbox money, I'm talking about rent, groceries, and gasoline, okay, for my family. If I could make a little bit of mailbox money, just by standing out in the field and singing my heart about something, about the human race, that showed everybody there's at least one guy left that loves y'all here in America. You've got a neighbor here that isn't going to stab you in the back.
We both got some hard knocks we might have earned. Some folks go to school, others have to learn that most of life is wishing, trying to get back to a memory of a memory you never might have had. My heart's a locomotive, runs on blackened coal and cigarettes and coffee. I can never roll my own. I'm born matches from the Padre, hearing church bells toll, wondering what the hell's the difference between dying and getting old. That can't be right. What year is it this year tonight? If I die, I'll die of fright. That can't be right. That acid flashback really cracked my eyes. Do the right drug once, you'll get to do it twice. And now I'm crowing about places and things I've never been. You know I'm never gonna whore it out and take that gig again. I believe the light is crackling round the edge of anesthesia, lying on a table with the whole world reaching in you. Hope to Jesus Buddha Bob that they wash their hands. There's no class action passage to break all my shitty bands. That can't be right. What year is it this year tonight? If I die, I'll die of fright. That can't be right. When I was younger, it confused me. Now I think I get it. My old man, he don't like pictures, especially if he's in 'em. Time is not a mirror, it's some distorted view of the way you thought you was and what you thought they thought of you. And all the trash that I had tossed out, it weren't by no means good, but just 'cause someone tells you don't really mean you should. My friends would try and cheer me up the best they knew to do. There's no rescuing a diver with 2 cinder blocks for shoes. That can't be right. What year is it this year tonight? If I die, I'll die of fright. That can't be right. I'm still agog with mortal dogs and skills I don't possess. I'm a practitioner of practice. I'm giving it my best. I'm left and I'm still leaving. I got several miles to go. I ain't ready to do something till there's something I'm ready for. There's a pillar in the desert and it's all...
It's worth hitting the subscribe button and grabbing those notifications because you can hear a lot of great songs there. So, good for Jesse Wells. I'm proud of that young man. I would have loved to have had him in my middle school English class. I think he would have been the fun one that all the other kids were hoping would raise his hand and say the wild thing or point out the elephant in the room. Those were my favorite students.
Arthur, King of the Britons, your knights of the Round Table shall have a task to make them an example in these dark times.
Good idea, O Lord.
Of course it's a good idea!